Hi Collective, it is Crowquette Tarot and I am here with you today for another pick a card reading, and today I am going to be focusing on what makes you a good friend or lover. We'll kind of see where it fits, just what makes you so great in your relationships. And I'm sure some advice and some guidance will come out as well, but this is definitely a little bit of a hype you up reading, maybe to gain some self-perspective and to build you up for the relationships you deserve. So, as always, I have crystals, your piles that the crystals will represent. The timestamps will be in the comments and the description, and I always put the crystals in the thumbnail as well. And I'm going to show you right now. So for pile number 1, I have this Orca agate. For pile number 2, I have this lavender quartz. So with those crystals in mind, I ask you to find your timestamp in the description or the comments, and I'll see you soon for your reading. Okay, pile number 1s, I'm going to take a sip of coffee before it gets too cold. So if you're choosing pile number 1, you picked this Orca agate. This beautiful Orca agate. It's honestly my favorite crystal. So if you picked this pile, this crystal is so special to me. It is a stone that is often associated with forgiveness. So I'm curious if that's a theme that comes up in your reading. Perhaps you're a very forgiving person, or you're in the process of forgiving someone. We'll get more details, of course. So for you lovelies, let's start the reading. I am going to roll some astro dice here to see if I can get confirmation for y'all. Maybe some zodiac signs, either your sun sign or your big 3 often comes up. We'll see. We have Sagittarius, 9, which is also Sagittarius, and the moon. Okay, so we got Cancer and Sagittarius here. These don't have to be your signs. They very well could be. You could have your moon in the 9th house as well. Moon in Sagittarius. You could have, let's see. You could have the moon as a prominent theme in your chart, or Sagittarius anywhere in your big 3, or maybe even Venus in your north node. Again, don't be discouraged if you don't have these signs. This pile still could be for you. So give me a little time, and if it's still not resonating with you in a little bit, maybe go to the intro and pick another pile. So with that said, let's start your reading. Let's start your reading. Why am I talking like that? Some of you could be British. So random. So I'm going to do an energy check first. Oh, there's my kitty. Hi, baby. Hi. So I'm going to do a bit of an energy check first. I've found that that's really helpful to do in my readings. So it can be a little more confirmation and also just seeing where you're at with relationships, all right? So for pile number 1, Spirit, energy check, please. How are they doing? Queen of Pentacles. Okay. Let's get a couple more. Ooh. 2 of Swords and the 3 of Wands. All right. I am liking this. There's definitely, oh, wow, and the moon. Because you got the moon and the astro dice, and we see like a crescent moon right here. Crescent moons could be significant. But with the 2 of Swords in the middle, you're definitely in a period where you're figuring out your next steps. With the 3 of Wands, that's making me think of the future. So it's like thinking of your next steps. Energy. You might have felt blindsided by a Queen of Pentacles recently, or a fire sign is coming through. My kitty's loving y'all. He doesn't always come out for these. Hi, baby. Oh, okay, a little too close, baby. I gotta be able to do my thing. I was encouraging him, wasn't I? That was my fault. He's just so cute. Okay, what's on the bottom deck? Two of Wands. Okay, so y'all are focused on the future, but you're searching inwards right now to, and because this is in the context of relationships, I think you're searching inwards for some answers about why your relationships have gone the way they have. I'm seeing with the Queen of Pentacles, you are very generous, very loving. Okay, you make others feel at home. I'm hearing you could also work with animals is a random thing I'm getting as well. You could have a birthstone of something green like emerald, or you could be really drawn to green crystals like emerald or green aventurine. I forgot what sign that is, but hi baby. And then unicorns could be significant because that's on the Three of Wands. Hi baby. He really wants to play. I got toys for him everywhere. He'll find one. He's distracted me. And because I said animals, my cat, cats could be significant, big cats even, or you could have a cat that's your familiar. But yeah, with this energy check, I'm getting you're a generous person that's focusing on your own energy, and I'm kind of getting like regaining your energy back so you can move forward and kind of manifest your dream relationships. I'm not even getting love specifically. I think this is going to be, for you, we're going to kind of be talking about relationships in general. So that's friendships, that's romance. I think that you're not even sure. I mean, I'm getting for a lot of you, you're in a romantic relationship, or if you're not, that's not your main focus right now. Hold on one second. Forgive me, I got a little distracted with the kitty. But yeah, I'd say your energy right now, you're in a reflective period. Okay, you might be feeling like you're at a crossroads with your relationships. And I definitely think you're turning to spirit for some guidance on moving forward. And that can mean a lot of different things. But if it sounds like this is your energy, you're in the right place. And we're going to get into what makes you a good friend, a good lover. All right, for pile number one, spirit, what makes them so great in relationships? Vanilla, tradition, simplicity, status quo. Okay, let's get a couple more. Moon mist, astral travel, visions, and visitations. Okay. Let's get one more. Pumpkin spice, harvest, prosperity, and fortune. That's definitely the Queen of Pentacles energy I was talking about earlier. Okay, very generous, very abundant. You could even, this is specific, but some of you could have a garden and could share, some of your produce with your friends. And more specifically, you could cook a lot for your friends or bake a lot for your friends and, romantic relationships. Okay. You could, what's that saying? It's something like loving through my stomach. Like your love language is making people food. And with the moon mist, with astral travel, visions, and visitations, people are drawn to you because you seem a bit otherworldly, but I also think you use any spiritual gifts you have to benefit your relationships. And that could look like a lot of different things. I think that, you might be the type of person to, if you're witchy, trying to, send good energy to the people you love. Maybe, you have some kind of protection with the black in the background. I definitely get that. Those in your life are more spiritually protected because of your spiritual protection. I think also people might just be fascinated by you because of your otherworldliness. You might even have some Aquarius in your chart. I mean, not to be like, you're not like other girls or you're not like other boys. You're not like anyone else, but you literally aren't like anyone else. I think you're the type of person that you won't find twice. And it's funny because you have this tradition and simplicity with the vanilla on the side, but that's just at first glance. And I also think this speaks to like a sense of groundedness that kind of goes with the Queen of Pentacles as well. It also is reminding me of the Hierophant in tarot, where you kind of exude this timeless energy, and it's kind of like you blend in, and that's why it's so surprising when your loved ones really get to know you, and it's like, you are not what I expected, but in like the best possible way. And on the back we have orange, enthusiasm, confidence, and courage. So I think that you definitely build people up. You are the kind of person that's on the sidelines for those you love, and like a little bit of a cheerleader. You definitely can be an ego boost for some people, which can be a good thing and a bad thing. Yes, but you're a very supportive kind of person to have around. Now I'm going to get some flower oracles for pile number 1. What makes them such a good friend and lover? Iris, spread your creative wings and take flight. Okay, so you're very creative. What else? Well, that was easy. Forget me not. Always remain true to your intentions. But yeah, no one can forget you. You're unforgettable. And not only that, when you say something, you mean it, and it'll happen. Even like this could be even premonitions, and people are like, oh my God, how did they clock that? But it's also like, even if it takes you some time, the seeds you plant always blossom. And maybe there's some things that aren't meant for you, and they'll blossom into something else that's even better. So I'm getting a lot about gardening here. You could garden in that other way, if you know what I mean, if you're on TikTok. It could be smoking some of that, could be gardening. That's just a random confirmation for somebody. All right, I'm going to get into the tarot soon, you guys. I just like to start with oracles sometimes. It's so fun. Okay, and we are going to get... Yes, we're going to get some of my collective deck messages specifically for you guys. So for pile number 1, Spirit, what makes them a good partner, a good friend? Bittersweet Symphony, The Haunting of Hill House. Ooh. Willow Tree. Oh, this is getting kind of into more hidden energies. Rainbow. Abandonment issues. Okay. Let's get like one more. Woohoo. I fucked up. Someone fucked up. Okay, so when you fuck up, you're going to admit to it. You're not the kind of person that's going to beat around the bush and avoid accountability. That's great. The Willow Tree, and with the Haunting of Hill House, that's giving to me ancestors. Okay? And I think in the context of how this makes you a good partner and friend, I just feel like your ancestors are at your beck and call, and they give you a lot of wisdom. And I'm picturing the kind of like the branches, like the roots spreading out into your community. So yeah, I feel like you could channel messages from your ancestors or other people's ancestors, maybe without even realizing it. You could remind people sometimes like you could feel very familiar to people, and it could very well be because you have some kind of spiritual connection. Not that you're like related in like an ancestor context, but it's kind of like, I think that you also heal. There's just something about ancestors and family. You could be the type of person that you have a lot of friends that are like cousins or distant family members. That's not for everybody. But it's also kind of this feeling of, some of you could have come from a really dark childhood or just some family issues, because with the abandonment issues, I'm getting that in Bittersweet Symphony. With the Bittersweet Symphony, I'm seeing a child playing violin or the cello or some kind of, like, maybe you were in a choir or an orchestra. Growing up, I'm getting a child that's like playing this Bittersweet Symphony. And with the rainbow, it's kind of making me emotional. People are like, how do you remain so positive and so joyous? Like, you definitely have the kind of trauma or past that people, um, wouldn't blame you for maybe being a little more pessimistic. Um, but there's this resilience in the sense of, you create not just abundance, like I'm talking about with your generosity, because that all comes from the heart chakra. That's love energy, creation. It all comes to love. And with the rainbow, and with the moon mist, it's so colorful. It's like you haven't limited your color palette to like gray and white and black and kind of stayed in that more depressing energy with like the muted colors. I think you've been there where it felt like you were kind of colorblind. Colorblind by Counting Crows is coming up, that song. But I think people are just astonished by what you've grown. With the willow tree in the middle, it's like you have grown immensely. And I think you teach people, I think that you teach the people close to you how to be grateful and how to see a higher perspective. It's like you take people out of their pain and show them a higher path. And maybe you've had a kind of best friend or partner that has also, like, it could be vice versa. You've been shown this and like you carry it into all of your other relationships. So this is really beautiful. And I'm going to get more with the tarot. Okay, Spirit, for pile number 1, what makes them such a good partner and such a good friend? Such a good person to have around. Pile number 1, please, Spirit. Woohoo! I knew. Interesting. Okay, so it's the Hierophant. I knew that was going to come out, but it says the Hero Duel in this, and I've never heard that word. This is like a divine feminine deck. It's called the Goddess of Love, so they will switch some things, and I don't know. But I don't know. I'm going to read the guidebook for that because I don't really know what that's about. 6 of Pentacles. That's a very charitable, like, give and take card. I'm not surprised at all it came out, and the 4 of Cups was hanging out. All right. I'm getting you create beauty in your sleep. Some of you might have been told that you're beautiful when you sleep. I'm not really sure how that translates for everybody. I also think, just because this is I don't always get this with the 4 of Cups, because the 4 of Cups often speaks to detachment and boredom and perhaps not seeing the bright side. This card, it's so beautiful, and it's giving me this energy of like fantasy and like escapism. I'm not surprised the Hierophant came out at all, and with the Vanilla the Traditions simplicity. It was really giving that to me. And I think this speaks to, I think that you're kind of this grounded presence that people come to for advice, for guidance. And with that key, I really do think that you kind of hold the key to the other worlds in a way for a lot of people. Sometimes people think that they're talking to like a higher power or an angel or like a spirit guide through you just because it's like, oh my God, how did they know that? Or how, like it aligns with people you love. It's kind of like, I'm also hearing Take Me to Church by Hosier. Like, it's like being with you is almost a religious experience. All right. And I am, like I said, I'm going to read from the book for that card because it's just calling out to me so hard. And I want to make sure I don't miss anything. Renames the Hera Dual Goddess Tara or Tara, T-A-R-A, astrological correspondence, as we know, Taurus. Some of y'all could be a Taurus. The wisdom of the goddess of love has remained alive through the body rather than any codified lineage, and the Hierophant signifies tradition and rulership, this knowing that passes from mouth to ear. When refracted through the Venusian current of Taurus, it transmutes into the hero dual, the servant of the divine who works with erotic energy to initiate and transform. Okay. Tara is an obvious goddess of love, yet in her 21 emanations, it is her love that is the guiding thread. She is the mother of compassion, one of the main Buddhas or wisdom keepers in Mahayana and I feel like I'm going to butcher this, Vajrayana Buddhism, and she is called on in moments of pain and crisis. In Chantic Hinduism, Tara takes on a fierce and often terrifying guise, similar to Kali, and she takes part in the left-hand path tantric rituals, where acts of transgression are performed as offerings. Tara is the purifying force of fire, the potency of words, the power of sacrifice, the intense love that calls you into it calls you into alchemy. Wow. It's about cultivating personal wisdom as a path to the goddess, and the body is a vehicle to knowledge. This is the path of the sex worker, the current of the high priestess. Wow. Okay, so this is a bit more sexual in this deck in the context. So, I mean, your body is tea. I mean, that's not the main message of this card, but I just got to say it. But, I mean, that's making me think of... Wow. Okay, how do I word this? I feel like you pull... Because with the transgression, it's making me think of... You kind of pull back layers of skin, but you do it, it's like a weird, like, it's in a sensual way. It's like you're pulling back masks of those you love, and in that vulnerability, people feel so safe, and you make them feel so beautiful that it becomes this almost erotic experience where you're spiritually transforming your loved ones. And, if I'm talking about friendship, this doesn't have to be... in that context, it's just people can be vulnerable with you is the main thing. And I think that you set a good example for people for alchemy, because I think people can see all that you've alchemized in your life. You've clearly alchemized a lot of trauma, a lot of wounds into bright, vibrant color in your life. Okay? And I do think in the past, some people could have been vulnerable with you and you became really close, and before you got the chance to be vulnerable with them, the relationship ended. I'm getting that for some of you, where it's like you want to feel safe to do that too, and it's not... I don't know if some of you are scared to be vulnerable as much as you make people feel comfortable and safe, and it usually is the other person first. And sometimes you don't always get the chance to speak your truth and share your story. I think some of the friends and relationships you've had, they wouldn't even know how deep your lore goes, so to speak. So that's really coming through for me. The Six of Pentacles is pretty obvious to me, a message of give and take in relationships. You're very fair. You extend a lot of your energy onto those you love, but you're learning how to pull back a little bit if the give and take is off. But people are astonished about how much love you're willing to give, and it's not like you expect anything in return. I think that you're growing a little more cautious about how much you give, though, because I do think you've been taken advantage of in the past. And I want to read the Four of Cups as well, because I'm not getting the traditional meaning of this card much at all. And this deck is a little newer to me, as you can probably tell. Astrological correspondence, Moon and Cancer. There's the Moon again. It is wise to reassess the gifts you've been given before you reject them as not enough. It is one thing to be realistic. It's another to be unsatisfied with what you've got because it doesn't live up to your internal hyper expectations. If you turn down an offering because it doesn't align with an imagined ideal, you're turning your heart away from the goddess. Anxiety and fear around relationships or expressions of intimacy and affection may stop you from recognizing how good you have it or how good it can be. There's a time and space to be a brat, but maybe it's not right now. Sometimes what the goddess sends you isn't what you want, but what you need. Instead of focusing on the negative or on what you don't have, breathe into it. Take a step in releasing these narratives and finding more supportive ones instead. Okay, so in the context of what makes you such a good friend and partner, I'm actually getting that you attract a lot of this type of energy from people. I mean, it makes sense if you get energies that are more unsatisfied and kind of, like you're in a crossroads energy right now, I said earlier, but you could attract a lot of people that are in that energy of the crossroads and perhaps being a little more pessimistic and looking, I'm hearing dark side, which is not what I'm meaning to say, but you could attract people with a dark side, and that came on top of Rainbow and that kind of Queen of Pentacles energy. So it's like you give those energies so much to be grateful for, but some people have slept on your energy, and that's, I think, part of the reason why you're at a crossroads right now. It's like, I don't want people to sleep on me. I want to be able to share my story, my light, my colors, in a way where I feel nourished and I feel loved, and I'm not just coaching someone else through their BS or, it's like you're happy to do it, but it's like I am getting the energy you don't feel like you always get enough in return. And I'm curious because the Orca Agate, as I said, that's a stone of forgiveness. And I feel like that is going to come up in some of more cards I pull. I'm going to see if that comes out, so I'm going to pull some more. All right, Spirit, for pile number 1, can we get some more tarot, please? Temperance. We get 1 or 2 more. 10 of Cups. Please, Spirit. Okay, I think that's all that's meant to come out right now, but we do have the Ace of Pentacles at the bottom. Lots of earth sign energy here as well as the Sagittarius and Cancer. So with the Temperance, I'm not surprised that came out. You're a very healing energy, almost angelic. And with the 10 of Cups, you are willing to stick around for, the long term if you can see you being happy. Like, I feel like for some people, they view you as your 10 of Cups. Let me think. I'm just getting a couple of different messages here. It's interesting because in the middle, there's this fire. You ignite people's ideologies, like the 10 of Cups. You ignite in people, in your loved ones, their dreams of their futures, perhaps that they let go of. Like people start thinking about having a family with you or being with you for the long term, all the memories they can make, like being part of your chosen family. Yeah, it's really beautiful. But it's also kind of coming with this temperance, and you see how there's these snakes at the bottom. Like, I don't think it's easy for others to earn that privilege for that 10 of Cups with you, because you're held in high spiritual regard. With these yellow roses she's crowned with, yellow roses symbolize more joy and friendship kind of vibes. So I'm getting a lot of like friendship messages for you for sure, where you are just such a beautiful example of a friend that you want around for the long term, but you're willing to kind of burn the cord and cut the cord of those who do not fit your 10 of Cups, or if you don't, Spirit will do it for you. I just feel like this kind of fierce energy from your spirit guides coming through in this reading, that it's like, we're not playing around with people anymore. We're going to send you people you deserve, and we trust you to use your discernment. And I guess, if some of you feel like you have really sharp intuition, really trust that, because you might be tested a little bit by certain people, but it's Spirit wanting you to prioritize yourself and your 10 of Cups, your healing. And this might be to your surprise, but it's going to make you a better friend for this, because I think the kind of people you have around also kind of give messages to other people. Sometimes, not always. That doesn't always reflect the truth. But it's like you might not be able to manifest certain 10 of Cups kind of energies, like the people that are going to love you and stick with you, because they might see you're overextending yourself for the wrong kind of people. And it's like, well, pile number 1, these are the kind of people they're hanging around, and I'm not sure if I want to, be around for pile number 1 right now, because I don't want them to be giving their energy to those type of people who don't align, with my truth. Or just like pile number 1, like, it's like, I feel like people have seen you be disrespected, and it's not that they, like, I think that a lot of people want to be in your life, and it's not necessarily like your fault. But I do think that there's some people on the sidelines, or maybe even that don't know about you yet, that you're trying to manifest, where it's like they need to have more of an opening. And if you're giving a lot of your energy to the wrong kinds of people, you have less energy to give it to those who deserve it and who will cherish you. All right? That's coming through pretty strongly. And I'm going to finish off your reading with some Alchemy of the Spirit Oracle cards. So this will be some final messages about what makes you such a good partner and a good friend, and any advice moving forward. All right, so for pile number 1, Spirit. Ooh, the owl. Okay, very wise. Okay, very intuitive, very much of you could be very capable of being some kind of spiritual leader. Like, I feel like you're a spirit guide, like, on this earth in a way. Like, the people that are able to be blessed. I mean, right now I'm tuned into your energy and I feel very grateful. This is just such beautiful energy. Okay, can I get a couple more for pile number 1? We have the island. Can I get that to focus a little more, please? I know it's not always the best at focusing, but I think that you got the picture. I love how there's this white cat in all these cards. This is one of my favorite decks. The Temple. Okay, so you have the temple, the island, and the owl. And on the bottom, we have the fountain. This is such beautiful, high vibrational energy. I'm loving this. But yeah, for the owl, I just can't get over this. And with the skull and the candles, it is definitely giving ancestors, and like maybe some of you have some mediumship abilities. Your beacon of light for those in a dark night of the soul, I'm hearing as well, which is a blessing and a curse, am I right? And with the island, it's like, I feel like your own space, like your own bubble, is such a beautiful place to be. It's a sought out place to be. I don't know if any of you have seen that movie called The Beach with Leonardo DiCaprio. It's like an older movie, like 2000-ish, I think. And oh my God, it is so good. I can't recommend it enough. I watched it when I was on vacation recently. It also has Tilda Swanson, and she plays this, it's kind of like a cult leader kind of vibe. So Leonardo DiCaprio, he finds this map to get to this sought out island that no one really knows about, but it's like paradise, right? And he gets there and everyone wants it to be a secret, but it's kind of like cult vibes. And once you're there, it's hard to like leave because they don't want the secret getting out. And, I won't go, in case you watch it, I don't want to like give a ton of spoilers or anything, but it's kind of giving this energy of, it's like, once people get there, they don't want to leave. But you see, you also have your spirit guides and angels kind of at your arsenal, and it's not like they're not malicious, but it's like, I just feel like once people, it's like polluting your island, like polluting this island, then I don't think that they're necessarily gonna be able to avoid karma. Not even karma, I mean, yes, but also it's like your energy is so sacred that, for one, you could attract some energy vampires that just don't want to leave, but it's like spirit kind of makes sure that they don't come back, or that just kind of like conserve your energy in like your own space, cleanse your energy, purify it, so you can be in this paradise, in this spiritual paradise. And you're learning more and more who to let on this island, and what these people are bringing to the island. I'm getting that question people ask. It's like, if you were on a deserted island, what 3 things would you bring? But it's like, instead of that, I'm hearing bells. So and there's that bell in the temple, so it's like there's a lot of angels coming through. You have a lot of angels surrounding you, a guardian angel. Yeah, there's a lot of angelic energy here. But what was I saying? I'm getting like your angels doing like checking bags, like you're going to the airport and you're putting your bags through that conveyor belt thing, and they're looking through everything, scanning everything. So I think your angels are like, what are these people bringing? And it's kind of like there's an opportunity for your angels and your spirit guides, or even you, to get downloads through your intuition, where it's like, if something comes up where it's like beep, 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 red flag, it's not easy for people to pull a fast one on you. Let's just say that. And with the temple, I mean, you are a temple. Your body is a temple. Your energy is a temple. And you see this cat guarding the door. That could symbolize your angels and guides. But it's also, if you have a pet, like a cat that's a familiar, that's coming through, or just some kind of pet, or even like an animal guide, they kind of, I'm also getting, because especially with the crossroads, the 2 of Swords card earlier, and with this cat guarding these gates, it's giving Hecate as well. Some of you could work with Hecate. I think some of you work with archangels as well. Archangel Michael is coming through for sure. But a main message that's coming through: trust that your guides have your back. that your angels are here to guard, like it's guarding your dreams, guarding your purpose, guarding your path, what you're meant to do here. I just feel like you have this kind of spiritual authority, or at least these, because angels, I feel like their energy is authoritative. Like, I just see that you have a lot of authoritative figures in a spiritual sense, ancestors even, that are at your beck and call. They're encouraging you to call upon them more and to keep building this beautiful energy, your temple, your island. This owl, it's on the lookout, you know, like at night especially, like, and that could symbolize, you know, darker periods in your life, of course, but it's like I'm getting this energy of your guides and your angels being on watch for the kind of energies you're bringing in. And this also is a huge blessing for the kind of people you let into your energy, your lovers and friends, because once they have access to this space, they kind of inadvertently get that advantage as well, without, and maybe they don't even realize it. But that feels like a good time, a good place to stop. So thank you so much, pile number 1. You have beautiful energy. I really appreciate you letting me read for you. And, you know, I hope I see you next time. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you next time. I love you. Bye-bye. Hey, pile number 2s. So if you chose this lavender quartz, then this will be your message about the kind of friend and partner you are. So I'm going to start off with some astro dice. Of course, you guys know I love astrology and getting you guys some confirmation. So anything that comes out here could be in your big 3, could be in your chart in general, possibly your sun sign, but we'll just see what comes out. So, but make sure you keep your big 3 in mind. Okay, so we have Capricorn, we have the moon, which is also Cancer, and we have 9, which came out in pile number 1 as well, and the moon. So some of you could have been drawn to pile number 1 as well. So if you're kind of on the fence, that's confirmation for you as well. But that's Sagittarius. So we have Capricorn, Sagittarius, and the moon, and Cancer, of course. So you could have a Capricorn moon, you could have a Sagittarius moon, you could have your moon in the 9th house. Okay, the midheaven in your chart could be prominent as well. Perhaps you have your moon in the 10th house. Anything else? Saturn with Capricorn is here, so you could have a Sagittarius or Cancer Saturn. You know, feel free to, you know, kind of put this where it fits for you, even if I don't say a placement, but if you're getting it from the astro dice, then great. But if you weren't one of those signs or placements, don't worry. I'm going to pull some cards for an energy check. And if you're still not feeling like this is your pile, perhaps go back to the intro and, you know, maybe pile number 1 was your pile because there's some similarities. So let's do an energy check. And you picked lavender quartz, which is a very beautiful variation of rose quartz, but it's a little more third eye. It's a little more spiritual because it got that purple tint, and it's also a lot more soothing because of, you know, lavender, you know. But I'm also getting the message right off the bat with that you picked lavender quartz that you're dreamy. Okay, you're a dreamy person, so that's coming through. So for pile number 2, Spirit, can you please do an energy check for pile number 2 lavender quartz people? Spirit, please tap me into their energy. Woohoo! We have the Hermit. We have the Sun. Okay, lots of major arcana cards happening. And let's get one more. So you're focused on your success right now, even if that means being in your own energy, you know, having a more lone path, possibly being a little more detached from connections right now. I'm getting you're kind of in a pivotal spiritual time in your life, possibly like some kind of spiritual checkpoint, or you're about to reach some kind of milestone. Maiden of Pentacles, which is the Page of Pentacles. So you are very focused on yourself and your success right now. I'll tell you that. And because you've got the moon in the astrolabe, and we have the crescent moon right here, the moon is significant. Okay, so maybe look at your moon sign, or, I'm also getting your progressed moon. So if astrology is of interest to you and you want to learn more about it, look up your progressed moon calculator and just put in your info. The progressed moon, it's a transit where it takes about 2.5 years for each sign, and it'll be in a house as well. And it just it's usually very accurate at predicting what happens in your life in that 2.5 years and the energy you're in. So if that's of interest to you, definitely look more into it. I also do readings, so always feel free to hit me up for a reading. I do want to make an Etsy shop and kind of, advertise my readings and share readings here more, but I'm kind of figuring out the best way to do that. But look out for that from me soon. I will be offering readings and having, maybe an Etsy shop or a place you can go to see all that. But right now, that's kind of in the works. But definitely look at your progressed moon, because I feel like that's something that is very relevant to your journey right now. Perhaps you have a Leo progressed moon or a Virgo progressed moon. That can be extra confirmation for you. But yeah, I'm getting that you're building up your confidence, you're building up your strength to hit some kind of milestone. Okay, so I'm not going to delve too much deeper into this right now because it's an energy check, but if that sounds like you, of course, you're in the right place. And yeah, the 10 of Pentacles at the bottom. Yeah, you're focused on your future, your success, okay? You're not letting anything interfere with that right now. Or you're at least, you're just not focusing on that as much right now. So I'm going to start with some oracle cards to see what kind of partner / friend you are, okay? Oh my God, I thought my earring fell out, but it didn't. All right, so let me fix that a little bit. There we go. These earrings are a bit obnoxious with the bows. They're so cute though. They're so coquette. Crowquette Tarot, hello. Anyway, all right, for pile number 2 with the Lavender Quartz Spirit, please tell me why they're such a good partner and friend. Okay, we got Tiger, Strength, Dignity, Majesty. Not surprised because you got the Sun with that kind of Lion, Leo energy. Pistachio, Emotional Healing, Independence, and Responsibility. Okay, it's giving girl boss. Bubblegum, Memories, Nostalgia, Childhood. I am obsessed with this so far. Oh my God, you let your inner child show in your friendships and with your partners, the people you love. I think that you like, watching nostalgic movies, perhaps that you're into like the 90s or Y2K aesthetic. That's just my nostalgia. I was born in the year 2000, whatever, decade you grew up in. I'm getting the sense that there's like a particular decade you're drawn to, like a particular era for the nostalgia, and perhaps that just comes through in your friendships and you connect with something from that era, or like you share, that's just specific for somebody. And with the pistachio, you're very emotionally intelligent, and that Pentacles energy, I could have some earth signs here. We got Capricorn, of course. You're willing to do shadow work. You're willing to put the work in to kind of elevate yourself and go through these spiritual checkpoints, these milestones, these, any kind of career goals or just goals in general, even around your healing, around relationships. It's just, it's very beautiful energy here because you're willing to do the work, and it's almost kind of like you're an ambassador of, I'm hearing ambassador of alchemy, like transforming, but it's also like you have this kind of regal energy to you. And of course, I get that with the tiger and the sun. That kind of, the lion, the tiger, very regal, very royal almost. So there is this sense of you could attract some jealousy, I'm not going to lie. But I'm also getting, because I feel like that big cat energy, it's also kind of protective. So, fiercely loyal, fiercely protective, those are things that come through in your relationships. But it's also like you might kind of be harder on the exterior with that tiger, or a little more extravagant. But you're actually very soft on the inside. I'm getting like the Tootsie Pop commercials with the owl and that I pulled an owl card earlier in pile number 1, so there's definitely some similarities here. I'm not saying you have to go back and watch it. I'm just saying there's similarities, all right? And what's on the bottom deck? Salted caramel, performances, costumes, and mischief. And with the memories and sort of, okay, some of you could be in performing. That could be part of your career. You could be performers or dancers, or you could have been like a theater kid, and that's kind of coming through. I think that you might be a little more extroverted and you like to go out with partners and friends. You might encourage them to kind of get out of their bubble or try new things. Or if not that, well, I'm also getting, you're definitely the mom or dad kind of friend. Like you are the responsible one. I'm getting designated driver for some of you. And people need friends like that, that isn't always a bad thing. Some of you could be sober because I said that, or just not really. It's like you like to go out, but you're not the party type. Or heck, you are the party type, but you know your limits, and you can kind of, like, I just don't see you as like a messy person. With the salted caramel on the bottom, it's like you could kind of have a taste for some drama, but it's not like in a childish way. Or this is something that you kind of, maybe like in school, like I'm getting, especially in like middle school or high school, maybe even early like college for some of you, you could have kind of had some drama in your relationships. But it's like I'm getting this energy of like someone who's been through all that already and is like over it. I'm sorry I keep grabbing at my nose. I have a cat here, and I really want to get it because it's bothering me. Okay, I think I got it. Thank you for entertaining me there. That was driving me nuts. Now let's pull some flower cards. What type of lover and friend is pile number 2? Peony. Prosperity can be assured if you care well for tomorrow. Yeah, you're a planner. Okay, you keep your future oriented, I want to say, which is funny because you got that nostalgia. Like, it's like you're a nostalgic person, but you're not sleeping on the future. I think that, and peonies could be significant with a partner, a friend you have, or perhaps someone you're going to meet could like peonies. Yeah, you're a grounded kind of person to have around, and you're a planner. Lilac. The future is sometimes lost in the wanderings of yesterday. That's so interesting because Peony says care well for tomorrow, and this one says the future is sometimes lost in the wanderings of yesterday. So interesting. This could be speaking to being careful to not repeat patterns in relationships and doing shadow work around that, but it's also like I'm getting something about the Truman Show that could, be significant for somebody. I'm having a hard time kind of deciphering what that means. You are truly beautiful on the inside and the outside, and I have never heard of this flower. Frangipani. I heard Gwen Stefani. It's like your energy is kind of funny. Like I started saying that and it's like I heard you sound like you're trying to say Gwen Stefani. You're truly beautiful on the inside and the outside. Yeah, so your beauty exudes from within. But with this duality between prosperity can be assured if you care well for tomorrow, and the future is sometimes lost in the wanderings of yesterday. Yeah, it's like the present moment is a little wishy-washy, and it's like you're a time traveler in your relationships, especially with the different eras. Some of you could be Swifties, because I'm picking up on eras and like the eras tour and things like that. But yeah, it's like you're a bit of a time traveler in your relationships. Perhaps that you have friends and partners where there's some age gaps. I mean, not necessarily that, but just people in different periods of their lives. You're not their lives. You could be someone who, yeah, just you've dated people who are younger, you've dated people who are older, you have friends that are way older than you have some friends who are a little younger than you. And people can appreciate that, because it's kind of like you're a good person to have around regardless. I don't see you as someone who's immature, but you're also not overly rigid either. You're a mix of very responsible and independent and very nostalgic, and even a little bit fun-loving and even childlike. And on the bottom, oh my God, you have lavender quartz, and on the bottom, lavender. Take time to cleanse and remove negativity. You are very relaxing to people. Okay, you're a very grounded, relaxing presence for people. You calm people down. You're kind of like, you're a soothing presence, and people really love that about you. And I love that. I love that so much. Okay, and then we're going to get into some tarot about the kind of friend and partner you are. So for pile number 2, Spirit, please tell me what kind of partner and friend they are. 10 of Wands. 8 of Pentacles. So much Earth's energy here. My goodness. And fire sign, especially Leo. And Sagittarius, because I pulled that. Let's get one more. Please, Spirit. Or, oh my gosh, do I want to take these? I will. It's just, got 3 more cards. So, 10 of Wands, 8 of Pentacles, the Moon. And you got the Moon in the Astro Day, so I'm not surprised. The Chariot. And the 3 of Swords. I knew that was going to come out in one of the piles. I'm not sure. I mean, with the Chariot and the 3 of Swords, yeah, it's like charging through, moving through, heartbreak. And it's like, oh my God, and the big cats. There's a lot of like big cat energy here. So cheetahs, tigers, lions are all significant. I'm seeing a third eye on this card. And with the 10 of Wands, it's like, I feel like you carry a lot of weight on your shoulders. But I just see you as, it's like you're charging through on the Chariot, and then I'm seeing this kind of like black smoke from the back, like a car, and it's kind of like spurting, and it's kind of, the car is running out of power, and it's like you got to recharge, or you got to put more gas in the tank. Like I'm getting someone who keeps pushing forward, even if they're overextending their energy, or they're needing a break, they're needing some healing. And I feel like you're kind of learning in your relationships to slow down when you need time to heal, or time to assess, the weight on your shoulders. And I think perhaps you also, with what makes you such a good partner and friend is you allow people to slow down and, be honest. Like, it's like you kind of, I don't want to say a mirror, but like with the Moon, it's kind of like things come to the surface in your relationships, and there's a sense of vulnerability people can have for you that encourages them to slow down and connect with you, and kind of like reflect with you, vent to you. Not necessarily vent. I mean, well, yeah, with the 3 of Swords, it's like people might come to you with their problems, not gonna lie. But it's also like, I'm not sure if you're willing to take on that much of other people's problems and issues, because it's like you're moving more like with this 8 of Pentacles energy you see with this goddess, and it looks like her child. I'm not sure if it'll focus very well. You can see well enough. Some of you could work with Aphrodite, because I'm seeing also, I can't tell if those are doves or I'm hearing partridges. Partridge in a pear tree. I don't think this is a pear tree, but that just came through. So, Christmas time could be significant, or that partridges, I don't know, a partridge tree, a pear tree. Yeah, it's like, I feel like you put a lot of energy into feeding and growing with other people, but I'm also seeing like a tree, like the leaves falling down and kind of like a new season approaching, maybe some like roots or branches that are sick that you need to assess, like very symbolic of willing to nourish other people, but you come back to your roots. You come back, perhaps that you're the type of person that goes to family or chosen family to kind of recenter and ground yourself after a breakup, or maybe you've had a recent breakup or friend breakup where you stayed with family for a while. That's coming through for some of you. But yeah, it's this mix of like, you sometimes overextend yourself and need to take time to heal and charge up your batteries, put gas in the tank. And maybe you go kind of to your family, or you look more inward with the moon. You really have to go through these emotional cycles, and where you're healing from relationships, and it's just this really heavy energy of you. Are like, it's very noble of you to help people kind of let off steam and have a safe space with you and be a part of your very oh, and I just remembered Chariot is Cancer in the moon. Yeah, there's a lot of Cancerian energy with that as well, but it's like you're gonna go very far in life, but it's kind of like a gift and a curse to be this person for other people. And it's kind of like spirit is calling you to really tend to yourself and what you're growing, to attract more relationships where you can show your best self. And your best self is extremely strong, resilient, transmutes pain into power, into metaphorical gas in the tank. I'm not getting as many literal messages with these cards as symbolic, clearly, but I am going to pull some messages from my collective tarot, or not tarot, oracle deck, where I have specific messages for this collective, and we'll get a better idea. So, Spirit, for pile number 2, let's get some specific answers about what makes them a good friend and lover. Please, Spirit. We got Dragon. Some of you could be Year of the Dragon. A troll acting like a prince, princess. Okay, so you've dealt with some trolls, maybe some wolves in sheep's clothing. And that on top of the moon. Yeah. You've gotten better at discerning who's a troll acting like a prince or a princess. And with the dragon, yeah, you are very spiritually protected, and you're also like, I'm picturing the dragon in the Shrek movies falls in love with Donkey and is just actually very sweet, but very intense at times. Burning bridges, so to speak. Yeah, message about burning bridge. And yeah, trolls living under the bridge. Oh my god. There's a message about like trolls under the bridge, and it's like there's like a this is very like fairy tale like, which I love, which makes sense with your nostalgic energy. It feels like some of your relationships have played out like fairy tales or folk tales, but not always like the super happy kind. Like, what, like, I'm not saying, you have your happy ending every time, but it's like, you've literally lived through some trolls, hanging under the bridge. You've dealt with, perhaps, I'm getting Red Riding Hood, I'm getting Goose Girl. I'm not really, and Grimm's fairy tales is coming through. Like, it's like when you read, some fairy tales, like, say, Rapunzel, but then it's like you read the Grimm's fairy tale version, and it's a little more messy, it's a little dark, right? Some of those classic fairy tale stories, the originals are, not as, great. I'm not, they're a little darker, they're a little more layered. Okay, they're not as much as like Roses and Sunshine, but you have some lore, all right? And you might look towards movies and books to process your relationships as well. I'm hearing you also are the definition of some people's like fairy tale, some people's happy ending. And so, you know, you're definitely going to attract. I do see a happy ending for you, but like it's like the period in your life right now. It's like you're also kind of mastering discernment and in a period of healing, you know? Okay, can I get a few more? Spirit pile number 2, what makes them a good friend and lover? Okay, broken karmic tie. Okay, cord cutting. Okay, some of you are being called to do cord cutting, but a lot of you, you've broken a karmic tie that perhaps has lasted longer than this lifetime, multiple lifetimes. And that's why there's a lot of healing energy here, because that's some deep shit to process and to heal from. You know, there's no shame in that. I'm hearing God's work. You're doing some pretty hard work. I'm getting some other cards. My deck is so huge, I'll just pull out like a random chunk. And so I was just feeling called to get some new cards. Okay, so for pile number 2, anything else? What makes them a good friend and lover? Fairy magic. Some of you could work with the fae, but that's also, again, this fairy tale energy, this like childlike energy in you. Feminine energy. I'm talking to a lot of divine feminine. Okay, what else? Any other spirit? I heard a few fly out. Okay. No way. I didn't even know I wrote fairy magic and then fairy energy. Okay, so you could have some fae energy. You could have some fae on your team. You could, have some fae-like qualities. Husband or wife. You're looking for someone who can be a husband or wife, maybe not right now, but I do feel like you're the kind of person that thinks long term, and you're going to be a great husband or wife, or just spouse, You're wifey material, your spouse material. 444, you're protected. Okay, your angels are all around you. Let's get one more. Or two more. Love that. Shared past lives. And with the broken karmic tie, oopsie. All right. That's confirmation. But that's also a sign for me to wrap up this pile. Irrational fears. You could have irrational fears when it comes to your relationships. Okay. Fuck yeah, I'm selfish. Shut up. Eat your breakfast. That's from a Kesha song, I think. So you have irrational fears that stem from this karmic tie because it was an unhealthy relationship. But I'm not seeing you, Spirit, letting that energy back in your life again, and your discernment has grown. So I don't see you repeating any karmic cycles that are related to that broken karmic tie. All right. So I'm going to end off the reading with a Alchemy of the Spirit card, okay? So for pile number 2, Spirit, can I get one last card? That one was kind of jumping out. The Panther. So many big cats here. Oh my goodness. And then the Elephant. Your ancestors are definitely with you, that's for sure. I feel like the kind of friends and partners you attract could have shared past lives with you. There could be some kind of spiritual tie, like spirit family energy. We have the cave and more big cats. Jeez. And the fire energy, lots of fiery energy here. Okay, so, wow. I feel like you're a very mindful person. You're spiritual just by watching this video. I know that about you, but it's like, you can turn inward and do a lot of spiritual healing on your own. I'm getting you're someone who meditates. Okay, you could be being called from Spirit right now to do some guided meditations around relationships. And then with the elephant, the elephant's making a wish. Your ancestors are asking you to make a wish, and they'll grant it for you. Your spirit guides. And I think that this also means that you are wish fulfillment for the kind of partner, because I'm getting like you're manifesting some connections and you don't know them yet, but some of your wishes are going to be granted through them and vice versa. All right. So that's your reading, pal number 2. I love you. Thank you for listening to me, giving me your energy. So make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. And, if you choose another reading, I loved your energy. I hope to read it again. And I love you. Bye-bye.